All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about a relationship that has become absolutely crucial for India, the one with the UAE. And look, if you're prepping for exams, this is one you really need to get your head around. We're going to break down everything you need to know about why this partnership is such a big deal and how it's reshaping geopolitics.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the big picture, the strategic partnership. Then we'll get into the numbers, the economics and energy side of things. After that, we'll talk about the people and cultural connections, which are super important. And we'll wrap it all up with a comprehensive review, perfect for your exam revision. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first things first. Let's talk strategy. How did this relationship evolve from just, a regular diplomatic tie into something that's now a pillar of India's foreign policy? Let's map it out.
So, take a look at this. The journey starts way back in 1972. But the real story, the one you need to remember, kicks into high gear around 2015. That visit by PM Modi was a huge deal. I mean, the first by an Indian PM in 34 years. That was the catalyst. It lit the fuse, and just 2 years later, bam, we have this official upgrade to a comprehensive strategic partnership.
Now, you're going to see this term everywhere, comprehensive strategic partnership. So what does it actually mean? Is it just fancy diplomatic talk? Not at all. Think of it like this. It's the difference between being casual friends and being in a serious, committed relationship. It means we're moving beyond just simple trade deals to a deep alliance that covers everything. Security, investment, energy, you name it. This is the key phrase you absolutely need to have in your notes.
And here's where things get really interesting. This isn't just about India and the UAE talking to each other. They're teaming up on the world stage in a whole bunch of different groups. Now, for your exams, this list can be a bit of a headache to remember, right? So we've got a mnemonic for you. Think IUB-JIG. That's I for I2U2, U for UFI Trilateral, B for BRICS, I for IMEC, and G for G20. IUB-JIG, because this partnership is getting big. It shows just how intertwined their foreign policy has become.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about the money. Because behind all this strategy, there's a massive economic engine. And trust me, the numbers here are absolutely mind-blowing. They really tell a story.
So to really get a sense of the scale here, let's just hop in a time machine for a second. Go back to the 1970s. The total trade between India and the UAE was about $180 million. Okay, not bad for the time, but just hold that number in your head.
Because today, that number is $84 billion. Yeah, let that sink in. We're not talking about growth. This is an explosion. From 180 million to 84 billion. It's a completely different universe. Okay, this table right here, this is your cheat sheet for the economic side of things. Let's break it down. Total trade is that huge 84 billion number. But look at the rankings. This is gold for your exams. The UAE is India's third largest trading partner overall. It's our second largest export destination, and it's the seventh largest source of foreign direct investment, or FDI. These ranks, you gotta know them. They really show the weight of this relationship. All right, here's another really important and pretty recent development you need to know about. It's called the Local Currency Settlement System, or LCS. Sounds technical, but the idea is simple. Basically, India and the UAE can now trade with each other using their own currencies, the Indian rupee and the UAE dirham. They don't have to use the US dollar as a middleman anymore. This is a huge deal. It's about taking back control. So why does this matter so much? Well, it's a win-win for a few reasons. First, it cuts out the middleman, the US dollar, which means less dependency on another country's currency. Second, it makes trade cheaper and safer, because you're not exposed to all the fluctuations of the dollar. Third, it actually helps make both the rupee and the dirham more important globally. And finally, it just weaves their two economies even closer together. It's a really smart move.
But a relationship like this, it's not just about politics and spreadsheets. The real glue, the thing that holds it all together, is the people. So let's talk about the incredible cultural connections and the human story behind these two nations.
Just look at this number, 4.3 million. That is the number of Indians living in the UAE. Let me put that in perspective for you. That's about 35% of the entire country's population. They're not just a community. They are a living, breathing bridge connecting our two nations every single day.
And check this out. This is a relatively new thing. Education is now becoming a massive part of the story. We're talking about India's crown jewels, like IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad, setting up shop right there in the UAE. This is a huge statement. It's a sign of India's soft power, and it shows you just how much trust there is between the two countries.
And the story of the Indian community itself has completely transformed.
If you went back to the 70s or 80s, the vast majority, like 85 to 90%, were blue-collar workers. But today, it's a totally different picture. About a third of them are now highly qualified professionals, business owners, white-collar workers. It really shows how the opportunities have evolved and how Indians have been at the heart of building the modern UAE.
Okay, deep breath. Let's pull everything together now. This is your rapid-fire exam review. We boiled it all down to the absolute must-know facts, figures, and concepts. Get your pens ready.
So, for the political and strategic side, the key year is 2015. That's the turning point. The official name for the relationship is the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. And for all those international groups, just remember our mnemonic IUBIG. Got it? Good. Next up, economics. The big trade number, $84 billion. The ranks you need to memorize: third largest trading partner, second largest export destination, and seventh largest FDI source. And that key new agreement, the local currency settlement system. Lock those in.
And finally, the people and culture highlights. Remember the diaspora size, a massive 4.3 million. Think about the new educational push with IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad. The huge cultural landmark is, of course, the BAPS Hindu Mandir. And don't forget the PBSK, the support center that looks after the welfare of the diaspora. These are the key pillars of the human connection.
So we've covered the past and the present. But the most exciting part is what comes next, right? In a world that's changing so fast, what's the next frontier for this incredible partnership? Is it space exploration? Is it cooperating on artificial intelligence? That's the big question that will define the next chapter. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Thanks for tuning in.